it okay to get started? All right. So, hello everyone. My name is Lisa Brisse. I'm an exercise physiologist and wellness coach and founder of State of the Heart Fitness. We're located over at the Lowe's Santa Monica Beach Hotel. And I was brought in by the League, which is a company that brings in speakers for corporate wellness. And so we're going to be talking about my presentation today is Be Active and Move. Simple exercises we can do that can make a big difference in your everyday life. All right, did you all know you were going to go for a jog? Right after this? Yeah.
Do it.
But we will be doing some exercises. What I'm going to be showing you today is just some simple exercises to be more active, because I know, we're probably sedentary, doing what you do, you're at your desk and whatever. So it's really important, obviously, to move our bodies at least a little bit every day. So today we're going to give you some simple exercises, and I did send Alex some handouts of the exercises that we did so that you can have them right there on your wall and do these things every day. I know you're all excited. So before I get started, I'll talk for about 40-45 minutes, and then I'll save about 15 minutes at the end for any questions, in-depth questions that you might have. If throughout the talk you have questions, of course, you're not understanding something, just raise your hand. But we'll save the any deeper questions till after the presentation. Sound good? Okay. So before I dive right in, I want to ask a couple of questions of how many of you do exercise on a somewhat regular basis? Maybe 2 to 3 times a week at least? Okay, somewhat regular? Anybody who's like, well, yeah, maybe once here or there, not quite consistently? All right, looks like it's a fairly active crowd then, so we do some exercise on a regular basis. That's great.
The office has been very generous in providing a gym membership.
Excellent. Where?
At the, it used to be Spectrum, it's now the paid one.
Okay, yes, that's wonderful. It's always good to have that support. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about why movement and daily physical exercise is so important. I want to give you a little bit of my background before we dive right in, just so you understand where I am and how I got here. I got my degree in sports medicine from Pepperdine University in 1993. I've been working as an exercise physiologist, wellness coach ever since. My first job out of college was working as an exercise physiologist at Sentinel Hospital's Fitness Institute. The Fitness Institute is no longer there, but of course Sentinel Hospital still is. But back at that time, they had a facility that was dedicated to fitness, and it was a great job because I got to work with a lot of LA's professional sports teams like the Kings, the Lakers, and the Dodgers. They all had to come through our facility before they were cleared for their season, so that was quite exciting. I loved that job, but I actually quit 8 months later because my best friend from college and I went to Greece for 3 months. And we were 24 years old. You don't get those opportunities every day, so we said, we're going to head on out. She was a dietitian. I was an exercise physiologist. Our parents were like, why are you leaving your great jobs? And we're like, we're 24. We've got lots of time to work. And well, when I came back 3 months later, I got a job as an exercise physiologist and lifestyle coach at the world-renowned Pritikin Longevity Center that used to be in Santa Monica. It's in Florida now. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the Pritikin Diet or the Pritikin Center. It used to be right down here where Shutters is, the Casa Del Mar building. And it was a residential program, still is in Florida, for people with heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. And so we would get people from all over the world, wealthy business people, princes from Saudi Arabia, celebrities. They would come and actually live at Pritikin for a week to a month at a time, depending on the severity of their disease. And Pritikin was incredible in the fact that the change that we would see in people in just a week's time from getting exercise every day. I was their exercise coach, lifestyle coach. They would eat the Pritikin diet, which was primarily vegetarian, very low sodium, very low sugar, high fiber. Heart disease patients, they would get off their cholesterol medication, they would get off their blood pressure medication by the time they'd leave. Diabetics would get off insulin, and it was just transformative. And what I learned at Pritikin was how amazing and miraculous our body is, and how programmed to be in health and balance that it is. Our body is so incredibly resilient, and we use it and abuse it for so long until the body starts saying, I can't do this anymore, and that's when it calls our attention that we got to pay a little bit more attention. But what I learned is at Pritikin as well is that, you know, we can have all the money in the world, whatever our status is, but if we don't take care of our health, it's not pretty. So, you know, we had people who, again, had all the money that they could want, but here they were struggling with health issues. And if any of you have struggled with a personal health issue, if you've seen family members or loved ones, you know it's not pretty and it's not fun and it's very expensive. So I always say that true health, true wealth is your health. And it's really imperative that we learn at this age and whatever age to take the steps every day to taking care of ourselves, because in the long run it's like building a foundation on our house. We need a strong foundation for that house to last. If we don't build that strong foundation, the house blows up at the first, you know, earthquake or a storm that comes through. So that's one of my messages, is that your health is wealth. And, you know, in our society we're taught to succeed and all of this, but here's my thought, is that true success, we can't have it unless we have our health, and we can't be the best person that we are if we don't have our health. And so if we've all flown on an airplane, we know that they always tell you, if the air cabin pressure changes, what do? You put the oxygen mask on you first, because if you're unconscious on the floor, you're of no service to anyone else. So whether you're a parent, you're a partner, you're an architect, you're an accountant, you're an actor, you're a janitor, we can't be our best self if we aren't taking care of ourselves first. So taking care of ourselves is incredibly important, because then we can be the best of who we want to be in this world. So after Pritikin moved to Florida in 2001, I started my own business, State of the Heart Fitness, with a colleague at that time. And we've been at the Lowe's Hotel ever since. And we do personal training, group training, exercise classes, and my form of health and wellness coaching I call heart coaching, getting in touch with the passions of your heart. I'm a big believer that we live too much in our heads. And we are taught to, you know, this is the path we need to take, and we often deny our hearts, and this contributes to dis-ease within ourselves, depression, health issues. So learning to live from our hearts. So that's how I started State of the Heart Fitness, and I love to educate, I love to inspire people to recognize the amazing miracle that they're living in, which is your body. And so that's why I'm here today. So I'm happy to be in your presence, and today what we're going to talk about is 5 key things. First of all, we're going to talk about how movement equals life. Okay? We're going to talk about number 2, what is your why? Knowing what your why is. In other words, what is your inspiration? What is your motivation for taking care of yourself? We're going to do some exercises, some simple strengthening exercises, some simple stretching exercises that you can do in your office, that you can integrate into your everyday. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the nervous system and stress, and how that relates to our nervous system and how it plays out in our body and our health and well-being. And then we're going to finish today with a few minutes of a breathing relaxation exercise. So you guys are going to be walking out of here floating, I promise. Okay? So let's just get started. First of all, any questions? Are we ready to go? You're like, yes, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Okay, so what I wanted to first talk about, I wanted to share a quote that I have used in my business for the last 15 years. And this quote came from a Greek philosopher over 2,000 years ago. And it still stands today. When health is absent, wisdom cannot reveal itself. Art cannot manifest. Strength cannot be exerted. Wealth is useless, and reason is powerless. And in my experience, in 23 years of working in the health and wellness field, this is absolutely true today. Okay? So remember that. All right, so the first point I want to talk about is movement equals life. Okay, we've been seeing lots of research lately on how sitting is considered the new smoking. That being sedentary can be as detrimental to our health and well-being as smoking can be, which is really kind of alarming, because we do have a very technological society these days where we are not out in the fields working the fields. We are oftentimes sitting in front of a computer screen or at our desks. Okay, and we don't want, that doesn't mean we can't do these things, but we have to make sure that we are balancing it out with movement. Okay, Everything in life is movement. Everything. I mean, there's not one moment you can't grab onto the moment. As soon as you think about the moment, it's already moved on to the next moment. So life is constantly changing. I always say, think of like your body, your health as a river. You know, a river that's flowing is always fresh, it's clean, it's replenishing itself. If you think of water like a slough or standing water, it becomes murky, it becomes dark, it becomes stinky. Okay, so think of your bodies. Movement is the key to replenishing your body, your cells, all the time. It's increasing circulation, we're getting oxygen to the brain, we're getting everything moving. You're getting the junk out of the trunk, essentially. So not just in your head, but in your body as well. So movement is the key. Movement is life. The second thing I want to talk about is your why. Knowing your why. And I'm not just talking about, oh yeah, I know I need to exercise, I know I need to move. I want you to go a little bit deeper. And this is one of your assignments today in the next couple of days, is to really think, I know Ken. Hi Ken, do you work here? Well, I'll be darned. And I go way back. He actually was a member at the Lowe's where I have my business. Anyway, so knowing your why. Whenever, you know, when we always find that if you started an exercise program or whatever it is, you know, you go with gusto for a while and then you lose that steam and you fall back and you're into old patterns again. We can only get so far with intellectual knowledge. Okay, I know I need to do this, but why is it that we fall back? And I always say it happens when we make a shift from head to heart, from knowing what we need to do and getting into our heart where we actually feel it from deep within. You think of when we are moved to do something, it usually has to do with an emotion. You know, we're moved to tears, we're inspired to make a change because we've experienced something emotional. And that's what, as a coach, what I like to help people do is to get deeper into their why. When we can get into that deep soul why I'm doing this, why I need to do this, how this affects my life, not just now, but in the future, then we can find that internal motivation that when we're like, oh, I don't want to do that today, oh yeah, but this is why I'm doing it. So ask yourselves, why? Why do I need to move? Why do I need to make my health a priority? What is the benefit of taking care of yourself? But more importantly, what is the cost if I don't? So think of yourself in maybe 5 years from now. Think of where you'd like to be, what you'd like to achieve in life. Now think that if we don't have our health, we may not get there. We know that no moment is guaranteed. Okay, we could walk out the street here today and be gone. So what is it that motivates? What is the reason that I need personally? Why do I need to take care of myself? What is my why? Maybe it's, okay, because I want to support my family. Well, the only way you can support your family the best way is to be your best self. So that's your why, because I want to be the best me that I can be. So it's not just, yeah, I know I need to do this, but there's got to be a deeper soul connection to that why. Does that make sense? Okay, so your assignment today is to really think about that and reflect. If it's not there already, what is the benefit of having my health? What is it going to give me? But most importantly, what is the cost if I don't do that? Now, if you were to make a priority list of what your priorities in your life were, where, and you don't have to answer this, but where would you put yourself and your health on that priority list? And again, you don't have to answer unless somebody wants to offer. How many of you put yourself and your health at number 1? Okay, there's a few. Okay, so number 2? All right, we're getting there. I'm going to say if you're not at number 1 or 2, you got to rearrange some things. Okay, for the reasons that we've been talking about. So if we don't put that oxygen mask on, we're going to be of no good in whatever we want to achieve in life. Okay, so you're pondering about your why today. All right. On that note, I think it's time that we do some movement. What do you think? Okay? So, since we're talking about movement, movement is life, so I wanted to show you some simple exercises that we all can do that don't take any exercise equipment. They take a few minutes. You can do them here in your office. You can do them here or at home. You can do them while you're traveling. Piece of cake, right? And here's one thing that I want everybody to know as well. And this is what I always say to my clients. Every moment, whether they're conscious or unconscious, we are making choices. And those choices are either enhancing our health and well-being, or they are taking us further away from that. So one of the key to making lifestyle change and integrating this into our life and making it a priority is recognizing, first of all, awareness. What are my choices that I'm making? And then, how can I make a better choice? Is that choice getting me to where I want to go, or is it taking my energy away? Okay? So we give most of ourselves to the world all the time, and then we find ourselves drained and fatigued and out of balance and overweight and overstressed. So we have to look at the choices that we're making. Is that contributing to that, or are there simple things that we can do that are always reinstilling to ourselves and to our body that we are taking care of ourselves on a day-to-day basis? Now, the most important exercise that you all can do is walk. Just get out there and walk, even if it's 10 minutes, just to say to your body, yes, this is what I'm doing, this is my time, this is my gift to myself. Now, just in case, if any of you done a spinning class or an indoor cycling class, I literally teach on Wednesday, well, of course, you're probably at work, 9:15 on Wednesday morning. Darn it, but I'm right here at B2 Cycling. Do you all know about B2 Cycling? That's right here on 19th and Olympic, 2 blocks away. It's a great little studio. Anyway, if anybody has Wednesday at 9:15 open, that's where I'll be. So, all right, let's go ahead. We're going to first stand up, and let's see if we can you can either find some wall space. We're going to do a push-up. Simple push-up, and not getting on the floor, but actually using the wall or your desk, okay? So find some space, wherever it is, against the wall. You want it so that your hands could be at least, if you were to bring your elbows shoulder height, yep, about 90-degree bend in those elbows. Yep, and you can do it on the desk as well. All right, you can do it on the desk if you wanted to. There'll be a little bit more of an angle there. Okay, so find yourself in the ready position, team. Okay, look at the smiles. See what exercise does? We haven't even started and everybody's smiling. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to inhale down and exhale, push up. Inhale down and exhale, push up. And it's not necessarily about speed. It's more about feeling it. Actually, the slower we go, the more you'll feel it in your body. So inhaling down, exhaling. Look at, people are smiling. I love it. Okay. So those people who have your hands on the wall, you want your hands about shoulder width or shoulder height and a little bit wider than those shoulders. Good. So note where you're feeling this in your body. Note where you're feeling it. Okay, you should be feeling it maybe across the chest, maybe the front part of the shoulders, maybe the back of the arms. Is that correct? Yes? Okay. So let's do a few more of those, just because it's fun. And why not? I know you guys probably do this on your lunch hour all the time, right? Okay, a couple more. And let's just, for fun, let's just hold that one and that last one. Hold that position and just hold it there. Hold it there, hold it there, hold it there. Yes, breathe through it. Is everybody feeling their body right now? Yep. Isn't it amazing? Yes, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Push back. Woo! All right, that's the lecture today. Thank you for coming. No, just kidding. All right, so that's a push-up, wall push-up. You feel stronger already? Something you can do. Can everybody do that at their desk? Maybe get up for, okay, perfect. All right, next thing we're going to do, while we're standing, we're going to do a little squat. Oh, yes. So there's variations of different types of squats you can do. We're going to do one where our feet are hip width, so you could do a plie squat. The one we'll do today, and it doesn't matter. Does anybody have any knee issues? No? Okay, so as I always tell my clients, always listen to your body. It will always tell you what it can and cannot do. Okay? So we are going to do a squat. Feet are hip width apart, knees right in alignment with those hips and right over that second toe. Your back is going to be tall. You're going to imagine that you've got a chair behind you, okay? And what we're going to do is you're going to keep your back tall, and you're going to squat down, reach for that chair, reach that butt for the chair, and then come up. Yes. Yes. Excellent. Now, we don't want to come up and lock out our knees. We want to keep those knees soft. The deeper you go, obviously, the more challenging it is. Pay attention to how this feels in your knees. Okay? If you go a little bit deeper, it's going to put a little more pressure on the knees. So if you have a knee issue, we can always vary it. But keep that back tall. Keep it going. Smiles on those faces. Hearts forward. Yes. Research has shown that we burn more calories the more we smile. Okay, maybe not, but it sounds good anyway, right? Okay, so keep it going. Whenever we're doing any strength exercises, we want to find the fatigue. We want to find a little burn in the muscle, right? Okay, so it could be 15 to 20 reps. It could be 30 reps. Whatever. Since we're just using body weight, it could be 2. Whatever it is, start where you are. See smiles from even over there. You're like, how
She's
can
not
I?
doing it.
Yeah,
She's like,
how are they looking? Right? Exactly. Keeping it going. Is anybody feeling the burn in the quads? Yes. Key thing is keeping the weight in your heels, not in your toes. Yes. Let's do 2 more with enthusiasm. Absolutely. Let's do 1 more. Fabulous job. Wow. Shake it out. Just so you know, there's variations. As I said, you can do a plie squat. You work a little bit more of the inner thighs. If you had a knee issue, you could actually do sit to stands. So you just tap down, tap into the chair. Okay? So there's the squat. All right. Next exercise, we're going to do an exercise for our upper back. Okay, so do any of you find yourself like this? Yes. And sometimes I fear of what the human species is going to evolve to because of our our technological way of living. So we need to work on opening up the back, stretching out the back, and strengthening the back. So we're going to do what's called a scapular squeeze. Okay, our scapula are the shoulder blades. So you're going to reach those arms out. Good. Inhale. And exhale, bring the elbows back and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then inhale forward. And exhale, squeeze. Now keep those shoulders down away from those ears. They don't belong there. Good. Bring them down. Excellent. Inhale forward. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale forward. Exhale, squeeze. Can you feel the muscles in the upper back? Yeah? Okay. Look at this. No weights, no machines, working those muscles. Yes, and this is the key exercise for all of us who are hunched over at our desks all day, looking at computers, drawing, whatever it is we are doing. Good. So this is proper posture. Back is tall, heart forward, smiles on the faces. Yes, squeeze those shoulder blades, looking good. Oh, yes. Is it warm in here, or is it just okay? I was just going to say, geez, whew. That exercise adds the temperature a little bit, but I think we got the sun shining in here. Let's do a couple more. Yes. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Hold it here. Hold it here. Feel those shoulders squeeze. Feel the upper back muscles. Now let's just do little presses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Woo! Roll those shoulders. Yes. There we go. Did we all feel that? We did. Okay. Fabulous job, team. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the next ones in the chair. Yay! Everybody's excited about that. All right. So we've done 3 simple exercises so far. Okay. Push-ups, scapular squeeze, and squats. All right, the next one, we're going to work on our abs and our glutes. Okay, so the first one is a pelvic tilt. Now, I think the higher chairs might not work, but you can try if you can. We'll see. Yeah, if you can rest your foot up on there. Okay, so you want to sit tall. Okay, back is tall. And I want you to practice being more aware of your posture. Okay, so notice how this feels. How does the energy in your body feel like this, with proper posture, back is tall, shoulders relaxed, as opposed to this? feels different, doesn't it? Yes, okay? So I want you to work on being more aware of your posture. And even when you're sitting, if you can, just keep those shoulders up, or shoulders relaxed. All right, so we're going to do a pelvic tilt. Pelvic tilt means that we're going to work our abdominals here in our chair. So what you're going to do is you're going to inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to push the small of your back into the chair. So you round out and you'll feel your abdominals squeeze. And then inhale, expand, arch. Exhale, tuck and round out. Pull your navel towards your spine. Inhale up. Exhale, roll it down. Something's funny down there.
Oh, I might said I don't think it's working.
It is. Oh, got little babies going, "Whoa, what are we doing, Mom?" So inhale, extend. Exhale, round it out. Draw the belly button towards the spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, squeeze. Good. So when you squeeze, imagine if someone was to punch you in the stomach. I know it's a nice visual, but you'd squeeze those abs. Everybody always says, I don't think I have abs. Well, they're there. They might have been taking a vacation for a while, but they're there. So this is just, where are they? If you feel them, they're there. Okay, let's do a couple more. Good, inhale. And exhale. Good. So just becoming aware of your abdominals. There we go. I can show you some real fun abdominal exercises. And it's not the crunches and all of that. Actually, crunches are not that effective, believe it or not. When people say, well, how do I get rid of this? Well, it's a combination of what we eat, how much we eat, and what we exercise. But doing 500 crunches isn't necessarily going to shrink this. There's a few other factors. But an exercise that is really effective in working your abdominals is what I call the dead bug. And it is actually laying on the floor like a dead bug with your arms and legs in the air. You take one opposite arm out, opposite leg, and you press your back into the mat and you hold it there for like 20 to 30 seconds. And then you switch to the other side. So anyway, but this is a simple exercise you can do in your chair. The next one, we're going to do a glute squeeze, buns of steel. Okay, so sitting tall once again, inhale, and as you exhale, squeeze those butt muscles. Kind of lift you up on the chair. You gotta have that look. Yes. Inhale, smile. Exhale, squeeze. Yes. Inhale. I'm thinking of my 19-year-old nephew. I always embarrass him in public because I do stuff like that. He's like, God, Lisa. Inhale. I'm like, gotta just laugh. And exhale, squeeze. Humor and laughter is the best medicine, ultimately. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze those glutes. You lift off the chair. Oh yeah, inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Good, a couple more. Inhale. Are we feeling those butt muscles? Exhale, squeeze. And then, did I say one more? We'll do another one. Bonus. Exhale, squeeze, and just hold it there. Hold it there. Squeeze those cheeks like you got the winning lottery ticket between them. You're not letting anybody get it. Hold it there. Squeeze. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh. Simple exercises, working the body. Alrighty. So those are the 5 exercises, strengthening exercises that we can do. Okay? Alright. We'll do a couple of stretches to finish it up. Alright, so let's go ahead and stand up again. Why not? Okay? Some key stretches to do. Standing with your feet wide, knees slightly bent. Let's take those hands, push the palms away, and tuck your chin. At the same time, tuck your tailbone. So you round out your back. And imagine you're wrapping your arms around a big tree. A bunch of tree huggers in here, right? Okay. Wrap it around and breathe in and out through that nose. Feel that stretch in the upper back. Yes, holding it there. We always want to hold our stretches about 15 to 30 seconds. The longer the better. If you can hold it for 60 seconds, even better than that. Good. So deep breath in. And then exhale, we'll do the opposite. Take your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. There you go. Open up that chest. Open up the heart. Smiles on those faces. Lift those arms. You'll feel a stretch through the arms, the shoulders. Excellent. Good. Feeling that? Mm-hmm. This is another really good. If 2 key exercises is a scapular squeeze that we did for, particularly being hung over our desk all the time. And this one to open up the chest. Okay? Hello. And shake it out. Excellent. All right. So we had the back, we had the chest. Now we're going to just be kids, and we're going to swing our arms. And you might feel a little, or hear a little crack, crack, crack down your spine, which is good. Now, did anybody do this when you were kids, just standing there? Exactly. Now, why did you let that go? I mean, it feels good, right? Swing those arms. Don't be shy. Good. Oh, we got somebody taking pictures back there. Oh, yes. Excellent. Okay. And then shake it out. Excellent. Alrighty, so now let's stretch our hamstrings. Our hamstrings can get tight when we sit a lot. So what I want you to do, and you can either do this on a chair or you can do it on the floor. If you're on the floor, you just bring one foot out, on your heel, your toe up. You bend your supporting knee. Your back is flat, and you just bend forward at the hips, and you should feel that stretch in the back of your thighs, right? If you wanted to put it up on the chair, you can go a little bit deeper into that, but you don't necessarily need to. And again, how long do we want to hold these stretches for? 15 to 30. Yes, an ideal? 60. Woohoo! Good. And then release. What we do on one side, we do the other. Switch legs. Heel up, toes up, and sit down on those hips. Sit down on those hips. Bend that supporting knee. Keep that back flat. Yes. And then just hold it there. And we never want to force a stretch. You never want to force those muscles to stretch, because what actually happens, what happens in life, when we try to force something, we get pushback. Same thing with your muscles. If we try and force a stretch, those muscles actually tighten up. So relax, breathe, let it go. Good. And just see how you can let those muscles release. Good. There you go. Excellent. While we're standing, I forgot this little strengthening exercise for our calves, okay? Which is good for balance, especially as we get older. So just standing where you are, if you need something to balance, otherwise we're just going to do heel raises, calf raises. Yeah, up and down. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Good. Does anybody know if they've got weak ankles, or you feel like you've got weak ankles? This is good for strengthening them. Yep. Good. And it doesn't take long. You start to feel the little burn in the calves. Yeah? Good. Looking good. Again, 15 to 20 or whenever, maybe doing 5 where you feel that fatigue, that little burn at the end there. I know you're all going to be doing these every single day from this point forward. Because you're going to know your why. And the why is, I want to be the best I can be in this life. I got to take care of me. Good. And rest. Shake out those legs. Now these are just some simple ones. There's a variation of all this stuff that we can do. So, but I just want to give you some simple stuff. The last one, the stretch we'll do, is we'll come back into our chair and we will do a glute stretch. Okay? Glute and hip stretch. So on this one, you want to kind of sit on the edge of the chair. And like I said, Alex has all the handouts of these, so he can send these to you. Okay, he'll email those to you. So cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Okay, right ankle over the left thigh. Now take your left hand and just press down on that knee. You'll feel a little hip opening and stretch there. Okay, good. Now keep your back tall. Lean with the heart forward and just bend at the hips, and you'll feel that stretch a little bit deeper. Oh. Yeah, you feel that? Mm-hmm. Amanda's like, while I'm down here, I'm going to get a bite to eat. Perfect. Yeah, good. And then come back up, and then let's switch to the other side. Left ankle crosses, back is tall. Press down on that knee. Good. And then let's lean forward. Leading with the heart. Yes. Find that place where you feel that tightness. Hold it there. Breathe into it. The breath is really important. We're going to talk about that a little bit after this. Good. Holding. And you might notice that one side is tighter than the other, which is normal. We may look symmetrical, but we've got lots of imbalances going on over time. Okay, and release. So those are some simple exercises you all can do. Yeah? Okay, doable. Alrighty, so the next thing that I want to talk about is stress. Does anybody have any stress in their life? Of course. Well, it's interesting, teaching what I do. A lot of times we are in a chronic state of stress, and we don't even, that has become our norm. So when I've asked people, well, do you feel stressed? Well, no, not really. But the truth is that's because that's become the norm. So when I do these exercises, sometimes I do progressive relaxation with people that's tensing and relaxing each muscle group, is that, the more you can tense a muscle group, the more it's able to relax. And sometimes over-exaggerating with the tension, then we can feel the relaxation. But if we're always in a chronic state of stress, our muscles, we don't know any different. So that's why it's good to do progressive relaxation. What was I going to say about that? So my point is that there's two parts to our nervous system. There's the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic part of our nervous system is responsible for fight or flight. So what that means is that if we were in a dangerous or alarming situation, the body is programmed to go, I got to get out of here. It's all about survival. Okay? Now, when we were living on the plains back in the day and we were being faced by an animal that was threatening to kill us, we either wanted to run as fast as we could or we were going to fight it out. So what your body does, what the sympathetic part of your nervous system does, is it actually increases your heart rate, dilates your pupils so that your vision is much clearer. It gets that body prepared to move. Okay? The parasympathetic part of your nervous system is the relaxation response. Now, what part of the nervous system gets overworked in our society?
Sympathetic.
The sympathetic, the fight or flight. Most of the time, we don't realize that our body is in a chronic state of fight or flight. And here's the difference of today's times versus back when we were literally in an endangered situation and we had to fight for our life. Was the last part of the stage response was movement. And it's in the movement. We either ran or we fought it out. And that movement actually released the stress hormones from the body, and then it was able to relax once we were back in a state of safety. In our society, we're not necessarily in life-endangering situations. Being out in traffic maybe sometimes, or being on the phone with a loved one that's driving us crazy at the moment, that can get our blood boiling, whatever. It's not necessarily endangering life-risking situations, right? But we still respond with that fight or flight. Now, if we don't move, what happens to those stress hormones? They get stored in our body, and our adrenal glands are constantly producing cortisol and the stress hormones, and what that actually does is it starts to break down our body. It starts to break down our immune system. Stress is one of the biggest causers of all, think about it, dis-ease within our body. Another reason why movement is so incredibly important, because if you've ever had a stressful day and you go work out and you walk out and go, oh my God, I feel so much better. Not just physically, but mentally as well. But that's the reason why, is because you are actually releasing the stress hormones through that movement. Hip, hip, hooray for exercise. Okay, so what, like I said, a lot of times we are in a chronic state of fight or flight, and we don't even know it. One of the things that I want you to become aware of is when we get stressed, what happens to our shoulders? Where do we carry it? In our neck and our shoulders. I'll never forget one time when I was at Pritikin. There was a woman in her 60s at that time, and she was this amazing woman. She was from one of the Eastern European countries, and she had that thick, Transylvania accent. She actually taught Tai Chi, and at that time I had never taken Tai Chi. And so I asked her, I said, could you teach me some Tai Chi? And the first thing she did is she was hovered over me. I'm only 5'3", but she was like about 5'9", and she looked at me and she said, put her hands on my shoulders, and she said, drop your energy, darling. Oh, okay. So my point is I still hear her voice when I recognize that I'm stressed. My shoulders are up to my ears, and I hear her go, drop your energy, darling. So your body will give you cues of when you find yourself stressed. Again, we've been talking about awareness. here's one thing I always tell everybody. Your head can lie to you. We've got all these stories about ourselves and a lot of limiting beliefs that we've inherited along the way. And a lot of times it's a lie. But your body will never, ever, ever, ever lie to you. Ever. It is your friend. But what do? We ignore the signs of our body. We keep pushing. Our body says, I need some sleep. I need more rest. Oh, then we go get coffee and we don't get enough sleep, but we just buzz it up with caffeine. But we're ignoring what the body is saying. Or, we've got high blood pressure. It's the body saying, I'm not rested. I need something else. I need to eat better. But we ignore until it breaks down. We don't want to get to that breakdown point, but it's inevitable. But, meaning that if we don't listen to it, that is when it's inevitable. So my point is that the body will always give you cues, and when we become more aware, it will tell you, oh, God, my shoulders are up in my ears. I need to do this breathing exercise. I need to center myself. So that's what we're going to do now. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. So what I want you to do is you can just do this sitting in your chair and sitting tall, okay? Shoulders relaxed. And I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. And the reason why we close our eyes is it decreases the amount of stimulation to our brain. We've got a lot of stimulation going to that brain all the time. So closing your eyes allows you to bring your focus inward. And then I want you to bring your awareness to your breathing. Okay, just follow your breath in and out through your nose. Just feel the sensation of it coming through your nostrils and back out again. And then I want you to take that breath even deeper. Follow the inhale all the way down into your lungs and feel the rib cage expand as you breathe in. And as you breathe out slowly, follow that breath back out through your nose. And just keep following the flow of your breath. Taking that breath a little bit deeper on each breath in. See if you can expand those lungs to their capacity as you feel that rib cage expand. And as you exhale, you follow the breath out through the nose and taking any tension that you feel in your face, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your back, becoming aware of it and letting that go, making a conscious effort to release it. So you're inhaling, bringing new energy into the body. You're exhaling, letting go of old energy that's stored there. And I want you to take your next breath a little bit deeper into your abdomen. And I want you to imagine that you have a balloon in your abdomen. And as you breathe deep into the lungs and deep into the abdomen, you literally feel that balloon expand. And as you breathe out, you draw your belly button towards your spine and you'll feel your abdominals contract. Notice how your body feels on the inhale versus the exhale. Giving yourself permission in this present moment to let go of anything that you're holding on to in your body and letting go of anything you might be worrying about in your mind. Most of our stress and tension comes from being out of the present moment. 99% of the time we are living in the future, worrying about things that may never happen. Or we're dwelling in the past of things we should have done differently, things we feel guilty of or whatever. But all of that takes us away from this present moment. And in this moment, we have peace. This is the only moment that exists. And in the present is peace. So on the next breath in, I want you to breathe into what I call your heart space. Somewhere right where your heart is. And your heart space is that place where you are totally connected to your soul, to your heart. It's that place of inner calm, a place of inner peace. It's that place where you are connected to something bigger than yourself. Feel what it feels like to be in your heart space. And then recognize that this is actually your truest state of being. And this space exists in all moments, no matter what the chaos in the world is around us. And the amazing thing is you can tap into this space in any moment of your life by just taking a few moments to connect with your breathing and to connect with that heart space. And recognizing that when you are in this space, your heart space, you actually carry a different vibration in your body. And you take that vibration out into the world. And you give people, others, an opportunity to join you into that space. In other words, not going out into the storm, but inviting the world into your peaceful place. And this is where we are truly centered and empowered, and this is the truth of who we are. The truth of who you are. So taking a few more deep breaths. And on these breaths, I just want you to breathe in gratitude. Gratitude for your body, that whether we realize it or not is carrying us through every step of our life from the day that we're born until the day we move on to whatever's next. It is the only being that is with us through the whole journey. So breathing in gratitude for what your body does for you every single day that we take for granted. Breathing in gratitude for yourselves. For from this point forward, you'll make yourself a priority. On that next breath in, I just want you to imagine light coming into your body and surrounding your body all the way from your head down to your toes, to your fingertips. Feel your body radiating in this light, and then have that light, see your light reach out, touch everyone else's light. Reaching out even further, surrounding the planet with light. Feel the interconnection to everyone and everything. This is our truth. And it's there in our heart space. And it's from this place that we get to be the change. We get to be the difference in our world. One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly open your eyes. Come back into this realm. How do we feel? Good? So that's it, team. Now, on the handouts that Alex should email you, if any of you are interested, on my website, I have a free 8-minute meditation like that any of you can download if you'd like. And if you have any questions that I can answer, we have a few more minutes, I'd be happy to answer.
What do you think about yoga?
Say that again?
What do you think about yoga?
Oh.
Doing yoga?
I think it's amazing, and I think everybody should do it, at least once a week. And the reason is yoga is, well, in Los Angeles, yoga isn't always about what yoga is about. Okay, so yoga is not about how do I look in this pose. Actually, yoga is all about getting centered and getting into that heart space. Okay, unfortunately, not all the yoga classes here, and I'm just being honest, and I've taken them all. So yes, I do, just for the body-mind connection and that centering. That's the feeling that you should come away with yoga from. Not feeling like I'm competing with anybody. It's all about getting into your, because everybody's on a different journey. We can't even compare ourselves. It's a good question. Anything else?
Do you have any tips for how to, like, say you do other things that are not yoga, to kind of like implement that same mind or thought concept into your exercise routine or whatever you like doing for exercise?
Actually, this mindfulness, I'm a big teacher of mindfulness, mindful awareness. And actually in my spinning classes, and a lot of people have this idea, have any of you done spinning or indoor cycling? And again, every instructor is different, and there's no right or wrong. How I have evolved, being an athlete myself and going through injuries, it's not fun. And what I have learned is to bring that mindfulness, and that's how I coach people, not only in my spinning classes, but in everything that I do with them, is getting connected. And actually, I just subbed a class, a spinning class this morning at TriFit over here. And, you know, there's always a thing when, a sub comes, you know, everybody's kind of like, oh, it's not my regular teacher. I've been teaching for 23 years, I know. And what I've learned is you just come in and you be yourself, and people may like you, they may not like you, it's okay. But I had 5 or 6 people come up to me today after class, and one even admitted, she's like, yeah, when I saw there was a sub, I was like, oh, and I didn't even think I was going to come. And she said, but your class, she said, I've never been taught to have that mindfulness while I'm spinning. She's like, that was the hardest class I've ever done, because I had to stay focused. You know, I keep reminding people of their breath. I keep reminding them of their body position. I keep reminding them of their heart space. You know, a lot of times what exercise can be a distraction, and it can actually amp up the fight or flight that we already are having, okay? So how I've evolved in teaching is that I do teach that mindfulness, and it's just about bringing, no matter what class you take, it is remembering your heart space, remembering your breathing. So in my spinning classes, I coach a lot on breathing, inhaling through their nose, exhaling through their nose or the mouth. And the reason why breathing in through the nose is so important, not only does it bring more oxygen into your body, but it actually stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. It stimulates the relaxation response. Most of the time when we're stressed, we breathe short, shallow breaths through our mouth. So that means, especially when we exercise, if it's a little higher intensity, we're breathing faster than we need to, and that actually increases the stress response in our body. So it's actually, you're amping yourself up more than you can actually be totally relaxed and working at your highest intensity. When I learned about the breathing, it was probably about the late 90s. I was running marathons, and I read a book called Body, Mind, and Sport. And it was an Ayurvedic approach. It was the Eastern philosophy approach to exercise and everything. And that's when I learned about breathing. And it changed how I ran. It changed how I lived my life. The breath is the key to life. And it keeps you present. It keeps you centered. It brings oxygen into your body. It literally is transformative. So, does that help?
Just focus on the breath.
Focus on the breath. It is the key to everything. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is it Chinese Qigong?
Chinese Qigong?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The breath is, and in yoga, it's all about the breath. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The breath is the key. Any other questions? Now, if I can help any of you, my email should be on the card, my phone number up on the top, the phone number on the bottom is my business one, but I just actually, it's obsolete. Just call my cell. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. You can email me, and if there's any way that I can help you and coach you in one way, I'd be more than happy to. It's what I love, and I just love seeing people have their aha moments and make that connection between the body, mind, and spirit. And I teach an online course. I created an online course and teach it called Head to Heart. finding your health and happiness through a heart-centric life. So, anyway, I'm all about the heart, people. Living from the heart, loving from the heart. That concludes my session with you today. Thank you so much for giving me your time and presence. I'd be happy to come back anytime soon. All righty. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. And you promise me you'll incorporate this and you'll make yourself a priority, and absolutely?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about that, Lisa. Give me some time. Yeah.